Hey guys, it is Mike from Baltimore Rides, wrapping up my Thursday night, November 9th. It's actually spilled over into Friday morning. It's about kind of like 12:30, 12:45 a.m. So just spilled over. I am quitting a little bit early tonight. Not too early for a Thursday, but definitely a little bit earlier than normal. And there's a couple reasons for that. So, for one, I'm at $185. I've had a really good productive night. Now that is split. That is about 120 couple bucks with Uber and $65 with Lyft. So, I've done about 4 or 5 trips with Lyft tonight. Decent average for Lyft rides, actually, surprisingly, but one of them was a big ride to the airport. And, the rest of my money was with Uber. I was not chasing any Quest goals tonight or any kind of, specific incentivized bonus where I really needed to dedicate all my time to Uber. And honestly, it wasn't really an issue because once, the evening kind of rolled around, Uber pretty much took over. It was most of my Lyft rides were kind of in the daylight hours, I would say. So, I'm going to continue doing it this way. I don't really, at the end of the day, I don't really care how I make the money as long as I make the number I'm looking for. If it's a partial with Uber and Lyft, I'm okay with that. I'd like to get back to the position where I can be where, making all my money with Uber because I get incentives and bonuses when I work there. So it's more productive for me to do so. And speaking of which, my Quest goal for this weekend is, of course, 65 trips. That's always the magic number for $155. So it's a juicy one. It's definitely one that I'm gonna shoot for. So, all things being equal, I don't think it's going to be a problem. I do have a little bit of a late start tomorrow. I have a meeting at my daughter's school at 1:30, so I'll probably be on the road at some point after that, but it's not unforeseeable considering it's a long weekend. So Friday is going to be very active in the city. It's not going to be like regular Friday rush hour. It's going to be people partying and going out drinking, and it's going to be a very active weekend. And I feel that the Caps play tomorrow night. I feel like DC will be strong tomorrow, so I'm not too worried about that. So, that's part of the reason why I'm quitting at the time when I'm quitting. The other part of the reason is, my son's had a cold for the past few days, and, as much as any parent can, I've tried to avoid, lots of contact with him, close contact with him, because he's 7 years old and he's coughing and sneezing, and, kids are germy. They're kind of like plague rats, in the Middle Ages. They're just germ carriers, but I think his bug is getting to me because I've kind of had a sore throat most of the evening. I've been a little phlegmy, and my stomach is now kind of telling me it's pissed off at me. So it hasn't really done anything yet. It just feels very unsettled. So I went and stopped at Safeway. I got Ritz crackers. I got ginger ale. I got some Dayquil or Mucinex, whatever the hell Mucinex, the fast-acting Mucinex, which is basically Dayquil. They're all the same thing. It's all the same 3 ingredients. It's just a different brand name. But, and I got some Tums because my stomach was, definitely telling me it was upset. So, I might, it's kind of discretion is the better part of valor. It might be better off for me to just get home a little bit earlier than normal while I still have some energy under my belt and I don't feel awful. Get a good, 7 hours of sleep in tonight if I can. My son has a half day at school tomorrow. My daughter's not back till Monday. So, I'll probably get a decent amount of sleep this evening and then get him to school, crash for another couple hours, and then obviously I've got to get up and get ready for that meeting at the school. So, any little bit of rest I can get now will kind of head off and, keep this bug from really taking root, because that's the last thing you need this time of year is to get knocked out with a really nasty cold. A friend of mine is just sick as a dog right now and has missed a couple days of work and just beat up. So, I don't want that fate to befall me. I really want to stay healthy, and my immune system's been pretty good, honestly, for the past year. I really haven't had any major colds or nasty bugs just knock me out, which is odd for me. But I feel like I might be a little bit, immune compromised because of my stress levels right now. Stress is a huge factor for your health. If you don't know that, wait till you get a little older and you will. You guys know it, but my bubbly personality is kind of a little cracked right now because of the stress that I'm just dealing with, with what's going on with my daughter. So I feel like maybe that might have compromised my immune system just a tad, and that's why this stupid cold bug is trying to, claw its way into me. So I'm going to start the fight out strong. I'm going to, get some protein, go home, maybe boil a couple hard-boiled eggs, and protein is the way to keep yourself, energized. And I need to drink a lot of water, maybe make some hot tea with honey. I'll probably go coffee free for the next couple days because coffee's really not good for you when you're sick. And, switch to maybe like a thermos of tea. And then I need to drink a lot of water. I really do need to drink a lot of water. So, I don't already pee enough, but it's what you got to do. You got to take care of your body, guys. Just because we're sitting on our butts in cars driving around doesn't mean we don't have to take care of ourselves. We got to try and eat a little bit healthier than we normally would want to. Sometimes that means making choices that you're not always a fan of. I have been not really sticking to my regimen of diet lately because of the craziness with what's been going on, and I need to get back to eating yogurt and eating healthier foods and just taking better care of myself. So this is a good kind of wink wink nod nod that I gotta get my body back in shape, because this bug is definitely trying to kick me while I'm down, and I'm not letting it. So all in all, guys, it's a good strong Thursday. I would love to say I got to 200, but $15 shy is not going to be the end of the world, and I could stay out for another hour and get that. The bar scene is not done. The rain finally stopped. But the city's pretty quiet, I'm not going to lie. And, there is a convention that just rolled into town, like neuroscience or neuro something or another. I don't know. And from what a restaurant owner was telling me, I was giving him a ride home a little while ago. He said they're a pretty rowdy bunch and they like to drink. So that'll be good tomorrow when they kind of hit the town after their first night of their conference. So that ought to be a good thing. But for tonight, I'm gonna call it. I'm gonna get some rest, and then that way this weekend I can really just crush it, because that's really my goal, guys. My goal is to really make my week in the next 3 days. Make this bonus. Have a good close to $300 day. Tomorrow, close to $300 day Saturday, and then whatever I can get on a Sunday, plus finish off my bonus. So if I can do that, I'll be in good shape. I really will. So that's where we stand, guys. I'll definitely do a video tomorrow, kind of letting you know how my day starts out and kind of what my plan is, and then we'll call it. So thank you everybody that's been kind of in touch with me. A couple of you guys texted me. Alex texted me this afternoon, and then we kind of been texting back and forth a bunch this afternoon, actually. Talking. He's been bouncing some ideas that he has, things that work for him, and just a couple of them are pretty good. So, he's got a little, I don't know if it's a lucky charm or a trick, but, when he's dropping somebody at the airport, he's usually lucky enough to get one going out. I've noticed that the past couple times I've dropped somebody at the airport. Reagan for me, because that's where I'm usually at. And he said that when he's near an airport, he sets his destination for the airport within 30 minutes ride and usually gets one going that way. So, I had a lot of luck with that when I drove Baltimore to BWI. You guys used to see me all the time, that would be the start of my day, would be a trip from the city to BWI. And I think that if you're strategic enough and you're planning your path, you're not just getting on 695 where you're not going to really get any activity, but you're going past a hotel or a university or, a business place where there might be travelers, then yeah, your odds are going to be really good that you're going to get a destination trip to the airport. So, I'm not saying don't go to the airport, guys. I'm just simply saying I don't think it's a business model. If you get a trip there, great. If you get a trip there, great. Drop off and then, go check out the queue. If it's monstrous, get the hell out. If it's small, then go get a trip. Go get a ride out of the airport. But I wouldn't make my life just sitting at the airport because I don't think it's sustainable. I don't think it's sustainable. I don't think there's a consistency to it. I think there's too much randomness involved. This new feature they've added for Uber where you're guaranteed you won't lose your spot in line if you get a short trip. We don't know what that really means yet. We don't know what the distance parameter on a short trip is in that term. So there's variables there that I don't know. It sounds good, but if everybody's getting short trips, then everybody's coming right back in their same spot in line. So again, I don't know how it's going to play out in the real world. And some of these things that they roll out for Uber sound great on paper, but in the real world don't really make a big difference. So, some of the things we've had some great success with, some of them we really haven't made a big difference towards. So, the 2-minute countdown where the, minute 3, 4, and 5 you get paid. Well, when it started out, it was 8 cents a minute. Big freaking deal. 8 cents times 3 minutes is 24 cents. So they're paying you 24 cents to wait for your customer. Whoop-de-doo. Raising it to a quarter a minute is not bad. It's a little bit better. I don't know if that's really the break even on what you burn running your cars at idle, or I don't know. But, it's at least a gesture in the right direction. But we don't really know the breakdown math on these things. We can play in our heads with these numbers. I certainly know 8 cents doesn't mean squat. Does 25 cents a minute mean something? I don't know, maybe. It feels a lot better. It's 3 times the amount. But again, is it really making your 3 minutes worth your while? I don't know. At a hot point in the night on a Friday or a Saturday when it's jumping and there's boost or surge, sitting for 3 minutes waiting for some joker that's dragging his butt coming out of the house could be the difference between getting a ride at 1.7 and 2.0 surge. Could be dollars and dollars difference. So now I'm not saying cancel every ride at the 2-minute mark. That's going to get you flagged and blacklisted real quick. But I don't think 25 cents a minute is really compensation. I think it's just a pat on the back. Some of these things like the long trip fee, again, the meter doesn't start running until you hit the 10-minute mark, and they're going to be watching that like a hawk. So if you're just driving around in circles for 9.5 minutes trying to make an extra couple bucks, you're going to be wasting your time. What it means is those folks working the burbs, Frederick, Mount Airy, Damascus, Towson, places that are off the beaten path a little bit, where your next ride request is 11, 12, 13 minutes away sometimes. That might be, again, a pat on the back. Here you go. You drove 15 minutes. We're going to give you, 6 minutes worth of pay. That could be, I don't know, that could be something. It's not even active yet, so we'll wait and see. I'm reserving judgment on that until I actually see it in action. But I generally don't get many ride requests that are double digits. The only ones I get are the ones where I'm on the highway zipping along at 60, 70 miles an hour. The stupid thing goes off and I've already missed the exit, and now I got to make some ridiculous U-ey, go another exit down and then turn my ass around. Those are typically the only ones where you're going over 9 minutes. So in the DC metro area. So again, I don't think it's anything we're going to benefit from too much. Different parts of the country where things are a little bit more spread out, LA, Atlanta, you might see some more benefit to that. So we'll just wait and see. But airport, to get back to my point, if you want to try the airport, good luck. And some of you guys are working different times than I work and probably more successful. I know airport morning business is amazing. So many people have told me that, and God bless you guys for going after it. It just doesn't suit my life schedule with my kids and my family, so it's not something I can really roll into. But I'm glad you guys are out there crushing it. I really am. My hours that I work, kind of 2-3 o'clock to the wee hours of the morning, there's a window there where the airport can be profitable for you on certain days, but then there's also a lot of dead time because flights are predominantly loaded around certain times of the day. So once you look at Gridwise enough, once you start to look at the airport trackers enough, you start to understand what those patterns are. So that's really all I've got for tonight, guys. It's kind of a longer talking about some stuff video. I'm glad to be back in the saddle to some extent. And, my mind is back to thinking about Uber when I'm in the car. And that's a beautiful thing in that, that's what I need to be doing right now is I need to be focusing on work when I'm working and family when I'm with family. And not letting the one affect the other, in either direction. So that's that, guys. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. So everybody have a great night. Later.